Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Tonight, we're traveling to the quiet, unassuming town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. A town that, for 13 terrifying months, was gripped by a mystery that blurred the lines between folklore, mass hysteria, and a genuine, blood-curdling omen of doom. We're talking about a creature that has haunted the American psyche for over half a century. A 7-foot-tall, winged humanoid with glowing red eyes. A creature the press would famously nickname the Mothman. For many, the story of the Mothman is just that, a story. A spooky piece of local lore that inspired a book and a Hollywood movie. But for the residents of Point Pleasant in 1966 and 1967, the fear was very, very real. They were plagued by sightings of something they couldn't explain, something that seemed to defy the laws of nature. And it all culminated in a devastating tragedy that would forever link the Mothman to prophecies of disaster. So what was it that terrorized this small town? Was it a previously unknown species of animal, a supernatural being, or perhaps an alien visitor? Or could it all be explained away by science and psychology? Tonight, we're going to do a deep dive into the legend of the Mothman. We'll examine the historical accounts, analyze the scientific theories, and look at modern-day sightings to answer the question that has lingered for decades. Was this omen actually real? Grab your flashlights and stick to the shadows, because we're about to venture into the heart of one of cryptozoology's most enduring mysteries. The legend of the Mothman began in the autumn of 1966, in the rural outskirts of Point Pleasant. The first widely reported sighting occurred on November 12, 1966, near Clendenin, West Virginia, when 5 gravediggers reported seeing a brown human being with wings soaring over their heads. This strange event was only a prelude to what would become a year of fear for the residents of Mason County. Just 3 days later, on November 15, the story truly took flight. 2 young couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry, and Steve and Mary Millette, were driving late at night near a former World War II munitions plant, an isolated and eerie place known locally as the TNT area. As they drove, their headlights caught a terrifying sight, a looming man-like figure standing 6 or 7 feet tall. It had large, hypnotic red eyes that glowed in the darkness. Panicked, Roger Scarberry, who was driving, sped away. But the creature, with a massive 10-foot wingspan, took to the air, effortlessly keeping pace with their car even as it reached speeds of 100 miles per hour. The creature reportedly followed them to the city limits of Point Pleasant before veering off into the night. Shaken, the couples went straight to the police. The next day, the Point Pleasant Register published an article with the headline, "Couples see man-sized bird, creature, something." This was just the beginning. Over the next 13 months, more than 100 sightings were reported. Witnesses from all walks of life, firemen, contractors, and ordinary citizens, described a similar creature. 2 volunteer firemen who saw it called it a large bird with red eyes. A local contractor named Newell Partridge reported seeing a pair of glowing red eyes in his field that looked like bicycle reflectors. He also claimed that his television began making strange buzzing noises, and that his German shepherd, Bandit, who chased after the glowing eyes, disappeared without a trace. Many sightings were concentrated around the TNT area, a sprawling, derelict landscape of concrete domes and overgrown wilderness that only added to the terrifying nature of the encounters. The story of the Mothman took a darker turn as it became intertwined with other strange phenomena. Paranormal investigator John Keel, who arrived in Point Pleasant to document the events, claimed that residents were also experiencing UFO sightings, prophetic dreams, and unsettling visits from mysterious men in black. But the legend was forever sealed in tragedy on December 15, 1967. During rush hour, the Silver Bridge, which connected Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio, suddenly collapsed into the icy waters of the Ohio River. The disaster claimed the lives of 46 people. In the aftermath, some locals claimed to have seen the Mothman on or near the bridge in the days leading up to the collapse. This led to the enduring belief that the Mothman was not a malevolent creature, but a harbinger of doom, an omen sent to warn of the impending tragedy. After the bridge collapse, the sightings of the Mothman abruptly stopped, leaving behind a legacy of fear, unanswered questions, and a legend that would haunt West Virginia for decades to come. The bizarre and terrifying accounts of the Mothman in Point Pleasant have captivated the public for years. But what do scientists and skeptics have to say? Is there a rational explanation for what so many people claim to have witnessed? One of the most prominent theories is that the Mothman was simply a misidentified bird. Specifically, many experts have pointed to the sandhill crane as a likely culprit. These are large birds, standing nearly as tall as a man with a wingspan that can exceed 7 feet. They also have distinctive reddish patches of skin around their eyes. It's plausible that a sandhill crane, perhaps having strayed from its normal migration route, could have been mistaken for something more sinister in the dark, especially by people unfamiliar with the species. Another candidate is a large owl, like the barred owl or the great horned owl. The glowing red eyes described by many witnesses could be explained by the red eye effect, a phenomenon where light from a flashlight or headlights reflects off the back of an animal's retina. Near silent flight of owls could also account for the creature's eerie ability to appear and disappear without warning. In fact, a snowy owl with a nearly 5-foot wingspan was shot in the area in 1966 and is still on display at the Mothman Museum. However, these theories don't fully satisfy all the details of the sightings. Many witnesses were adamant that what they saw was not a bird, but a humanoid creature. The reported size of the Mothman, around 7 feet tall with a 10-foot wingspan, is also larger than any known native bird species. Furthermore, the creature